Honorable Minister of State for Health, Dr. Olorun Bemamora. While standing, may we kindly recite the second stanza of the national anthem as our Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development. Directors of the ministry here present are here today for the presentation of letter of reappointment to the Director General of NIPRD.
Yes, like the Honorable Minister said, we are here to celebrate. And I think the celebration has already started. DG NIPRD, congratulations one more time for your appointment. But as the saying goes, I mean, each responsibility comes with a challenge. And this is a challenging period for you. I know you are up to the task, but we want you to do more. We have had great expectation. We know you are capable, you have the competence, you have the experience, you have everything that it takes. But we want to see a lot of your landmark in the ministry. And you can only do that if we task you. And that's why we are tasking you now. We want to see if it is possible, each and every month, a brand new vaccine and drugs will be registered from your institute, if possible. So that is the expectation we have, and I think you have to live up to that responsibility, my brother. We are so proud of what we are doing, but like I said, we still want you to do more. Chairman, board of the NIPRD, please task him to do more. We know he's doing, but we have a lot of expectation from him. So, I mean, whatever he do, he cannot live up to what we have, the expectations. So I want to use this opportunity to congratulate you on your appointment and ask you to do more for the benefit of Nigeria and for mankind. Thank you so much. Over to you, Honorable Minister.
These remarks and presentation of letter of reappointment to Dr. Adigwe.
Each time we need to present letter of appointment and reappointment to heads of agencies and hospitals under the watch of Federal Ministry of Health. One of the reasons why we decided on this is to have an opportunity like this where we sit down and we're able to give some words of encouragement or words of advice to such appointees. Secondly, I felt that by making a small ceremony like this out of it, it will also enhance the significance of what we are doing. Because being appointed or reappointed is not automatic. It's not. The reappointment in particular is an opportunity to appreciate what that reappointed person has done and where he or she can also do more. So I will start on a note of appreciation for all of you that have found time to be here, particularly the Honorary Secretary, who is the head of administration of the ministry, and of course the chairman of NIPRD himself, who has a major role to play as to whether the agency under his primary watch is achieving or not achieving. So, Chairman, I want to thank you and the members of the main NIPRD. But before I go on, let me clarify. Dr. Adigwe, you introduce yourself as OB. Is Is it OB? We call you OB. So let's get it clear now. Is it, because I know you have OB.
It's OB.
OB?
Yes.
And so we are right now.
Yes, you're
you
right.
are wrong.
No, it's a more orientation.
You said OB, so I want to be sure. OB?
Whatever you call me today, I will answer.
You think I can hold on to your letter? Don't bribe me with that.
No spelling errors.
It's OB.
OB? Okay. The next thing is,
Yes,
I had, you know, for a long time that when I came into this ministry, I've always had that Itayu logo. Because I happen to know one man in Lagos who bears that name as well. Itayu logo. But again, when he was introducing himself, I thought he said Ologun. I wanted to be sure, is it Ologun? Ologun. Because, well, for non-Yoruba, speaking here, because there's a difference. When it's Ologun, he's a man who has medicine. When it's Ologun, Ologun is a warrior.
Yes, sir.
So I want to be sure. Is that Ologun?
The one with medicine, sir.
With medicine, Ologun. He wants to harass all of us. That's why I say you don't have any medicine.
I think it's because it's in food and drugs. That's
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
No, but you are
Right. So thank you all for finding time to be here. Yes, we are celebrating. It's also an opportunity to celebrate the person who has just been reappointed by the appointing authority. It's not me, it's Mr. President, who will do the recommendation based on the facts on ground. Of course, it's a process that when in a few months to the end of tenure, it's important for me to say this because in some of our centers, we've had issues because of lack of understanding as to how the process works. A few months to the, precisely about 6 months to the end of tenure, the DG or whoever or head of that institution writes to seek reappointment if he or she feels so to do. It's not compulsory. I've seen within my short experience here of a head of institution who wrote to say, I don't want second term. Abi?
Yes, sir. I mean,
I don't want to mention but we have seen that. So it's not compulsory. If you feel, look, you've had enough, you want to go, why not? So, but, and even the Bible says that ask. And no. Seek.
And you shall find.
So it's not compulsory. If somebody requests or asks for his or her appointment to be renewed, he will take it through the process. And what's the process? Of course, the letter that comes to us usually is accompanied by the stewardship for the period under review. Why you resume those dates, able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and all that. When we have that, of course, my own assignment is very simple. I refer to the head of administration, giving a directive to set up a committee to go and verify. Because you cannot just come and make claims that we cannot verify. So, yes, we set up a appropriate committee to go and do verification of claims made. And then the report will be sent in, we look at it. If we find it such that we can make a recommendation to Mr. President, who is the appointing authority, we will do that. If not, we also do the needful, so to speak. And for me in particular, as much as possible, I try to visit the agencies, at least under my supervision as Minister of State for Health. And I know that I visited a number, particularly the hospitals, FMCs, course, I think I visited NIPRD twice now.
Yeah.
Thereabout. Visited too. It's a popular.
And you will come again, sir.
Well, I hope so. It's a Chinese proverb that says it's better to see something once than to hear it 10 times. So, as much as possible, and time permits, I've visit. So it's the same process that we have seen in this particular instance. And then we got later, a committee was set up, reviewed the claims, and based on that, we made a recommendation to Mr. President. Mr. President, in his wisdom, has found Dr. Adigwe fit and proper person to be reappointed for another term for 4 years. But then, each time I have opportunity to do this, this fresh appointment or reappointment, I always remind the beneficiary that your end of tenure starts now. Now. I remind everybody, I remind myself. And I always say that I don't need anybody to remind me. I'm on this seat for a while. And the challenge for all of us, every one of us who is privileged to be where we are, none of us will be there forever. The challenge is, how do I want to be remembered when I'm no longer there? So that is the challenge. For me, with all the sense of modesty, all my years in public service, from 1999, I don't look back. I do my bits, and that's what I commend to all of you that have had cause to do this to. So the same thing I'm doing to you, I'm commending to you. Dr. Adigwe, start counting. There will be no tenure elongation. So start counting that with each passing day, you are getting nearer to your departure from that office. And start interrogating yourself. How do I want to be remembered for? That's the question. And to help you do that, one of the things you must be conscious of is your relationship. What relationship do you build? One, with your colleagues, with members of staff, in your place. It should not be an issue of, oh, I'm there now. Some people were there before you, and some people will be there after you. So, always, and everybody in the system, one way or the other, has something to offer, and you must not take that for granted. I'm sure, even this position, you're not the only one who contested to be there. It was a contest. It's a contest, and if you were privileged to be the one, the chosen one, so to speak, is by grace. I always make this clear. And I'm sitting on this seat, does not necessarily, mark my word, does not necessarily mean that Dr. Mamora is the best. It only means that as at this point in time, I'm the most privileged and I'm the most favored. So, if that privilege, that favor is falling on you, then the least you can do is to justify it. You justify it through your actions, through your achievements, through your legacy. Those are the things that you'll be remembered for when you're no longer there. Then, of course, you need to work in tandem with your board. I've had cause to settle some disputes between the board and management. And if I may narrow it down, between the chairman and the MD in some of agencies, institutions. And oftentimes, one of the things I have seen is overbearing nature, which will come from either side. It will come from the side of the board or from the side of the management. To be specific, side of the chairman or the side of the MD, which shouldn't be. It's either the board wants to do the job of management or the management wants to do the job of board. You're supposed to work in unity of purpose, because no progress can be made in an atmosphere devoid of peace. And when I say peace, I'm not referring to the peace of the graveyard. It was I think Martin Luther King Jr. that said, peace is not the absence of conflict, because there will always be conflicts. That's the nature of human beings. There will always be conflict, even at home, even between a husband and a wife, between parents and children. There will always be conflict. So peace is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. That is the underlying factor. Where there is justice, what you do to people around you, of course, those you have done well. If you didn't do well, you will not be recommended. That's the truth. You will not. At least not me. Not me. I can raise my hand. Try to be. No, none of us will be perfect. We're not talking of perfection. We are saying that within the ambit of what is evidence before our eyes, we can say that we have done well, and say that Mr. President has never for one day rejected my recommendation. So, congratulations. But again, as we said, the reward for hard work is more work. It's more work. Yes. So, you must be ready to surpass even your own expectations. So this is not the time for you to sit back and say, oh, after all, this is my last time. I don't have anything. This is it. You shouldn't look at it that way. This is the time that you need to work harder, so that you can leave your footprints in the sands of time. And prayer is that the good Lord will grant you that grace, the strength, and the wisdom to do so. So, while congratulating you and your team, because you couldn't have done it all alone. You need a team. It's a teamwork. It's just that somebody has to be the team lead to direct affairs. So I wish you well. And again, like I always say, in all this, don't forget your family. Okay? the family or the home is a place of comfort. When you get bashed out there, that's the place to retire to. It's important, I always say this, to remind people, and don't forget, there are a lot of people who might just be around you because of the position you occupy at this moment in time. And that's why I said earlier on, what I tell you is what I tell myself. So I don't even want to remind me. This is what I tell myself. So, you need to, because your home or your family is the first line of defense. It's the first line and the last line. That's where you come back to when it is over. It's food for thought. Okay? So, it's on that note that I have the pleasure and the honor. I'm just an ambassador of Mr. President. Yeah, it's just because Mr. President will not write you directly. Mr. President will write you through me. So what you see here is Mr. President's message, but conveyed by me. So, on behalf of Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, who is the appointing authority, I have the pleasure in presenting this letter of reappointment, renewal of appointment for another tenure, second and final. No tenure elongation. So congratulations. I was going to say that the chairman should have a hand in it.
Wow.
Shining.
Dr. Laurie Bemamora, Permanent Secretary Mahmoud Amaman, Director Olubunmi Arabiana, and other senior directors in the ministry, the Chairman of the Governing Board, Dr. John Alpha, and my colleagues from NIPRD. Let me begin by putting on record that the achievements that have necessitated this reappointment would not have been possible without the unprecedented support from this particular building, from the Honorable Minister to the Permanent Secretary to the Director, Food and Drug Services, and our team. We have experienced focused and selfless leadership from the ministry. And please, if you want to clap, you know.
We are afraid to clap.
When we were putting together the portfolio and some of the people from the presidency were shocked at the increase in the infrastructural developments, the fact that we had secured over 100 new pieces of equipment, the fact that we had moved from an organization that was struggling to grants to one that has between 5 and 10 active grants. The fact that in the short 3.5 years, we had gotten a 5-fold increase in registered products. And the fact that in that same period, every single staff member of NIPRD, every single staff member who is confirmed of NIPRD had benefited benefited from a training activity as well as received an IT device to support the work that they do. And I think most importantly, in that very short period, evidence had indicated that we had trained over 1,000 phytomedicinal practitioners, a feat for which 2 senior members of this ministry witnessed that our South African colleagues have now decided to copy the model being run here in Nigeria. And when they saw all this and they said, how did you people do this in a very short period? I said it is because of the leadership and the support that we have had from here. Honorable Minister, there is no time that I require your attention on key issues that attention is not given. You have close to 100 agencies under your watch. We are one of the very few who you have visited more than once and who you constantly advocate for, even in our absence. I heard the statements you made on the floor of the CBN. I was not there, but at NIPRD we appreciate that you put our competence to the fore in terms of national development. Permanent Secretary, in a very short period you've been here, we have also gotten unimagined. We never imagined that this sort of understanding of the place of NIPRD in the scheme of national affairs would emerge in the way you do things here in the ministry. Less than 2 weeks ago, you literally dragged me to Lagos and made sure I attended 3 meetings in a row just because you knew the value that NIPRD could bring to the table. Director Arabiana and your team, I had never been friends with Food and Drugs, and those people who were there before you would attest to that. But under your leadership, all your directors, Director Logun and all the key directors have stepped up to the plate. And even when things are happening and you know that this is within the remit of pharmaceutical R&D, you pick up the phone and say, why is NIPRD not here? We appreciate that. That is evidence of the new and improved Ministry of Health. Permanent Secretary Maman, you have given us a specific target. We love specific targets. You said you want 48 products from NIPRD within the next 4 years. We will surpass that. I am overwhelmed, just like the Honorable Minister knows. That list of people who write in to say I'm no longer interested in this job, very nearly my name would have been counted on that list. But for the support that we have gotten from this ministry, we do not take it for granted, Honorable Minister, Permanent Secretary and Directors. And on behalf of the entire NIPRD family, we promise to rededicate ourselves to national development with your increased support. Thank you.
Let me thank you for all your kind words and for this opportunity. which you have also enabled. Because in spite of all the good things that have been said, if the recommendation was not approved by you to go forward, it wouldn't have, we wouldn't be here where we are today. And so I want to thank you for being magnanimous and for doing what you have done. I remember when we were inaugurated, you also gave us a charge, and we also made commitments. For the sake of the person we are celebrating today, I will also say as the chairman of the board that we have not found him wanting. I want to say that in the history of that place, the inflow of funds that has come to that library, apart from the envelope, has been astronomical.
Envelope given to you by the PS.
And that has remarkably contributed to the progress of research and development in that place. I also want to put it on record that within this period, within the time that I have been there as chairman, along with my colleagues, there has also been an increase in the number of grants that have come to NIPRD. We are also aware of the Japanese grants that came. We are aware of the ones that he, using his own intellect and wherewithal, to also bring in a grant from TED Fund and also a grant from Apex Bank. And the one from Apex Bank is going to help in establishing the unit for active pharmaceutical synthesis. If you remember, sir, that was one of the things that we said as board that we're also going to promote in that place. And the inflow of equipment that has also come to that place is unprecedented. And it is a world-class center that many people want to come and consult and even do a lot of their work. So I join others in also appreciating. And so it's not an error that he's been given this reappointment. And of course, I also make bold to say that the board will continue to give him our own cooperation. We'll work in synergy, as you have said, so that the best outcome can happen to Nigeria. I also align with the promise he has given, and the PAMSEC has taxed us. And he said I should not allow him to rest. And he knows that I don't allow him to rest when it comes to some issues. And so we're going to continue to do that. And I promise you that since it has also come from you, the enablement will also follow suit by the grace of God. So thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you, Mr. PAMSEC. And thank you all the directors and the team of staff from NIPRD and other members that are here today to grace this occasion. We thank you all. God bless you.
Secretary is taking out time from his very busy schedule to join us to celebrate our own OB Adigwe. To us, it is a very significant milestone, and to whom much is given, much is expected. For us from the ministry and as the parents department, we want to see a NIPRD that the staff, the DG, the board are working with one mind going forward. And we hope that we hope to see more of that if it's not been happening in this new tenure. We also pray for God's guidance for you. We pray for His wisdom and we pray for His direction. You have done very well. I make bold to say, sir, that for the first time in Nigeria, we have pharmaceutical grade starch being produced by NIPRD. At the last board meeting, you could see the excitement from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. that if that is the only thing we can have as active pharmaceutical ingredients in Nigeria, it is a bold step in the right direction. So I sincerely want to appreciate the staff and management of NIPRD as well as the board for that great effort at achieving that. But we can go the extra mile in this new tenure. And as the permanent secretary has said, he says he wants 48 products. But sir, I also want to say that NIPRD has about 15 or 20 products currently, but they are not in the market. And I have told Obi and the board to say we need to set up a marketing department in NIPRD to market this product. These products need to be found in the market, not on the shelves of NIPRD as an institution. So I think that is another task that is ahead of you as a new DJ. I want to thank everyone who has come here to celebrate with us and pray that things of celebration should not depart from any one of us in Jesus' name. And as we go, may the good Lord go with us, protect and keep us. And we shall come back here to celebrate more of our DGs. I know that we have about 4 of them who are going this year from the pharmacy angle, who are supposed to, their tenures are ending this year. So starting with Obi, the others will be coming forward. So we hope to celebrate more of them. And thank you very much, sir, for today and always. So thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you. One more, please.